Okay. Hey.
Detroit Business Hub Group Director Nancy O'Neill works with her team of experts. Listen to conversations with business professionals to discover the latest business innovations, insights, and trends. Find out what's hot and what's not in today's business market.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to DBHG. Well, that was a first time that we played a commercial before the intro. Obviously, I hit the wrong button, so that does happen sometimes. But I am here with my guest, John Cleare. I originally met him through the Shannon Still event. And he is a broker owner of his own real estate agency. And with that, I'm going to allow him to further introduce himself.
Hey, everybody. So my name is John Cleare. I've been in real estate for 15 years, and I am a licensed real estate broker. I also wholesale residential and commercial nationwide, but primarily in Michigan, since that is my primary market. And I just have an absolute passion for real estate. I've actually been up over 24 hours, so I can't tell. I have life.
We're both having an off day then. I was like, oh no, but I had already hit the play button. I'm like, okay, moving forward.
It's okay.
Just roll with the punches.
That's right.
Most people probably didn't even notice anyway, unless I pointed it out. So, well, John, thank you so much for being a guest on our show. I didn't get a chance to really talk to you that much at the Shannon Still event, so we'll have to definitely get caught up now on this interview. So how did you actually get started in a real estate business? Where did you start as an agent first, and then how did you progress to becoming a broker?
So it was actually my mother that inspired me.
Okay.
I went to U of M, all right, the University of Michigan. I had a full scholarship. I believe that at the time, or maybe still now, was one of the best scholarships. It was the Bill Gates Millennium Scholarship.
Okay.
Bill would pay for undergrad, grad, and PhD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
sounds like you got the hookup.
I mean, yeah. So I think I had to complete like 12 different essays just to get the doggone scholarship. Like my mom was like on me like every day, like I had to complete another essay. I was just essayed out. So basically like in my sophomore year, my mother gave me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yeah, very good. Huh?
Kiyosaki.
Yeah, Kiyosaki. Yeah. And I basically like dissected everything in that book, and it had just like worked my mind in a good way. I was taught to, be a good student, get A's, which I did like the latter half of my high school, tenure, and get a good job, right? Good job. And the book was just total opposite of that. So that's why I say from my mind, but in a good way. It just causes you to think in a different realm and just look at things, at a different perspective. So it basically geared my mind to where I am full-time unemployable. That's what I tell people. Like, there's a lot of money that will get me to work for someone else, So full-time unemployable to anybody else hiring me, but I'm full-time employable with my own business, right?
I see. Yeah, that being people's next question. What does that mean?
Right. I know. I'm unemployable, right? So that means that like no dollar amount that you can offer me will get me to work for you, because I know that I have unlimited income potential with working for myself.
Right. That's great. So where did you stop in the program? Did you finish your bachelor's at U of M, or did you go on to earn a master's? How did that work?
So, like I said, it goes up to PhD. I dropped out in my sophomore year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so the book had that much of an influence on you. You're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. So it resonated so deep within my core that I was like, there's no way I can continue like with the knowledge that that I had gained. There's no way that I can continue going through college, preparing to work for, like a big time, like engineering firm, because that's what I studied, engineering.
Right.
At the time, U of M was like second in the nation. So the engineering program was really grueling. I mean, we were in the library like 8-10 hours a day, and they're off the curve system. So even that wasn't good enough. Like in U of M, I was just like a 2.7 student, whereas in high school, I graduated with like a 3.78. So it was super tough. But I was definitely up for the task. But I decided to drop out because with the teachings that Mr. Kiyosaki had prescribed in this book, I felt like that I had the knowledge and that I was well prepared to give it a shot on my own, and that's what I did. It was definitely a struggle, but I made that decision and I never looked back.
Okay. Now, I do have to ask a question about your mom. How did she take it when you told her you were dropping back out then, and where is she at now, seeing how successful you are in real estate?
Right. Well, thou shalt not cuss on this program.
And mama definitely can't cuss. Mama's not allowed to cuss.
Yes. But she was definitely livid.
I bet she was. Yeah, that's like after I graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, I told my mom I wanted to become an airline steward, and she said, "You want to?"
But you know what?
Oh my goodness! She said, "What did you go to college for?" She's like an airline steward. It's like, you gotta be joking.
It just like blew her mind, right? Like, I didn't praise you to drop, to be like a college dropout. Like you got accepted to one of the top universities in the country. Like I said, we were number 2, just behind Georgia Tech, for like industrial operation engineering, which is all about like business optimization.
Right.
So, I did take some things from my U of M teaching. Business optimization is all just about doing more with less, right?
Oh, okay.
So just like how to automate your business, how to kind of put it on autopilot, put processes in place, so that you work on your business, not in your business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I think that whatever you do, we're in another generation than our parents, and I think that society has changed, the marketplace has changed in the last 20, 30 years, and going to college is not a ticket for everyone. It's not the only ticket, and I think that's a very traditional method. And Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great book because he talks about the experience of both of his dads. So one had a PhD and was broke. The other one, he was an entrepreneur and he was very wealthy. So he had the best of both worlds. And I like the way that he balanced it. And he said, I'm not telling you to not do one for the sake of the other. He really said it's best to integrate both. Mm-hmm. So I like the way that he didn't just totally, like say that his dad, what his biological father had to offer was like of no value, but at the same time, he probably learned more from his friend's dad. So I really thought it was a really good book. So I actually have to go back and finish reading the book. But yeah, I totally understand parents. I mean, where is she in the process now, seeing how successful you are? Is she happy with the outcomes that she's seen, or does she still want you to like go back to school and finish your degree?
No. I just talked to my mom, very recently, and she was just so. We actually just got a new office in Southfield.
Okay.
We haven't done the grand opening just yet. That's next month.
Okay.
And I took her up to see the office like a little over a month ago, and she got to meet, like some of the crew and whatnot, and she was just smitten. I mean, she was just.
Oh, good.
I mean, like she just. like imprinted on pretty much everybody that she met in the office. You know, like she left there, you know, with them having like a lasting impression. You know, and she was just telling everybody like how proud she is of them, and she's definitely supportive. Love my mother. She is definitely the reason why, you know, that I have like the core, you know, values that I have. It's all because of my mother. Yeah, so she's definitely happy.
Good, I'm glad. And that's usually the way parents are. Like, once they find out that you are successful, no matter what you do, they typically, you know, get behind you 100%. And that's weird that Bill Gates is giving away that scholarship, because you know he dropped out of college himself. He didn't finish college himself. So, and I think he was at Harvard, right? I believe he was at Harvard.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that just kind of goes to show you he's like one of the world's richest men in history, and like he didn't finish college himself. So
No, it was just a good tax break. It's okay. We get it. Thank you.
I don't know though, but that scholarship, I'm paying college loans back now. It's like getting at least a bachelor's degree for free. That actually sounds like a pretty good ride, but your program sounds a lot more rigorous than mine. I was probably doing about, you know, a little bit under a 3.0. So yeah, I just say like an undergrad, you usually party and go to school at the same time.
Right. I didn't even do that. And then even to U of M, like I even did like a pre-college like summer program to kind of like prepare me for it. So
yeah,
like the summer before, you know, freshman year, like I was still studying, you know, like calculus and stuff. So trying to get prepared.
Yeah, exactly. They have that type of enrichment program at University of Wisconsin as well for minorities. So yeah, I would say whatever you can do to prep, the more you can do, the better. But I mean, 8 hours a day in the library, it's like you don't really even have time to go to class. So there's no real balance there. So I can totally understand, you know, how you felt. So I'm glad, kudos to you that everything worked out anyway. And, you know, you are definitely on your way to the next Bill Gates. We'll see.
Wow.
But if not Bill Gates, at least, you know, the next, whoever's big in, who are some big names in real estate right now?
Definitely Wendy Patton. You know, she's definitely a local mogul. You know, I mean, like just local, but also, you know, like international. But you know, she's local here in Michigan and just highly respected. And yeah, so I actually posted about Wendy a couple days ago. You know, because we had gone to the RIA meeting, you know, that she hosts in Troy, and you know, she's the largest you know, RIA group in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, and like it was just a great meeting, and like I hadn't seen her in like, you know, I think since 2015 because because she featured me on her wholesale panel in 2014 and 15, you know, and you know, I decided to go to the meeting, and it was definitely a great meeting. So you know, so like she would be top of my list just because she's more relatable to me. You know, I can reach and touch, you know, like her if I need her, you know, like to ask her, you know, for great advice. But as far as anybody else, so my focus is mainly multifamily.
I see. Yeah, you're an investor, so you're not really like, you know, quote unquote real estate agent. You're more of like a real estate investor. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I do have my broker's license, but that's mainly just for like another source of income because I'm also with, you know, EXP Realty. You know, so I have like an associate broker's license up under their umbrella, and then I have my own brokerage under my own umbrella, and I have, you know, like my business partner Mike, you know, that you interviewed, you know, like he's with me. Yeah. You know, so I like the diversity of just multiple streams.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Mike, he's been a guest on our show. Mike Speaker's been a guest a couple times. So I'm not sure who invited who, if Shannon invited you to her event, or if Mike invited you, or if you invited him, or if Robin invited all you guys. I don't really know how it all worked out.
Well, no, because I saw that Shannon posted it, I think, on her Instagram, you know, coming, you know, guest. So I'm telling both of them, like, look, man, we gotta go, you know, like anything Shannon, we definitely support. Like we were there, for her grand opening for her hotel, in Southfield. So like we definitely support Shannon and we love her.
Great, great. Yeah, I'll say the next Shannon is still there because I know that she's really big in commercial real estate as well. So great. Yeah, I also interviewed Wally. He's another EXP realtor, but he's like in the Ann Arbor, the Washtenaw area, so you might not be as familiar with him. But he's up and coming as well. If there was one thing you could change about starting your real estate business or brokerage, what would that be?
It would be to get a mentor. I've never had a mentor ever. And a lot of people come to me and they ask me, do I mentor? And I used to, but I do give them great resources to help them that actually help me. So actually how I got started, I used to just lurk in the Bigger Pockets forum. So Bigger Pocket is like one of the premier real estate investing like networks online. Like it is definitely, if not number one, it's a close second. So basically my whole theory was I don't have to reinvent the wheel. All I have to do is duplicate and maybe implement other processes that are like niche to my goals, right? And that's all I did, nothing special, just what other successful individuals were doing in other markets and just try to duplicate some of that and try to implement, some of my own, techniques as well.
Okay, great. Well, what piece of advice would you give a new rookie just starting in the business?
Right now, because the laws are changing, I would definitely say get licensed. In some states, to broker properties without a license is illegal, right? Even in the state of Michigan, if you do 5 or more, you technically need your real estate agent's license or real estate salesperson's license. And a lot of people don't know that. And they may kind of tighten down on that a little bit because like in Chicago, it's illegal to broker, a property that you don't own without a real estate license. So you don't get the 5 or more. It's just straight, and then Ohio is the same way. And so they're cracking down on it. So I would say just for the knowledge as well, definitely just try to get licensed. And the exam isn't that difficult. It's mostly just memorization.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm a former realtor myself. And when I was a member of Agriba, then now Gidra, I was a member as an insurance agent. But yeah, the real estate exam is super easy. It's really not that difficult.
Right.
Especially if you like history and, learning about different facts and stuff, you could easily pass that. So I totally agree. Yeah, that would definitely be a step 1. And 2 is to get a mentor, someone that you can get up under. And while it was telling me that's one of the nice things about EXP is that you have the option of starting with or without a mentor. So I think any rookie agent should definitely have a mentor, even if they don't join a team. They should have someone that they're accountable to and that knows more than they do.
Right. And their educational, program with EXP is definitely bar none. Like is great. So, I would definitely say for new agents, you could join like a, typical big brokerage. Or the beautiful thing about EXP is that not only do you still get the educational aspect, but you get like the revenue share and you make money off of other people. So why not, right? It's just so like compounded, wealth streams.
Right. And it's nice that they allow you to do that. That you kind of almost like they're using a multi-level marketing model with the business. But I think if you do recruit someone, hey, you should get a little bit of something, especially if you're also helping to train them too.
Right.
Yeah, so I understand the philosophy behind that 100%. Okay, how is establishing credibility? How do you establish credibility when just starting out, either with name recognition or real estate organizations?
So I would definitely say focus on trying to build a brand. Think long and hard, like what will make you stand out. And then I just say just focus on one client at a time. That's how you build a brand. All it takes is one review, and then the next person that you work with, they saw, okay, great, this person left a review so I'm going to leave one as well. And it's like a slow process for me. It was,
Yeah.
it really wasn't no overnight anything.
Right.
Just do good business and be ethical and word of mouth, especially in real estate where it is a large industry, in totality, but the real players is kind of a small, like we all know each other. So,
Right.
and reputation is everything. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's everything. And it's truly the lifeblood of my business because before the current climate that we're in right now, which is like a strict seller's market, like is total like crunch as far as inventory. Before this, like I pretty much went years and years with no marketing, like no paid marketing, just referrals. And I
That's
literally,
great.
like my business just ran off of like 100% referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to do some paid marketing because it's just tight out here, right?
Exactly. It got more competitive, probably.
Right. But all those referrals go back to reputation,
Exactly.
The sellers that I did previous deals with thought of me when they were ready to either buy or sell again, and they entrusted me with their property, just because of my previous, success with them. So just get into a frame of mind that from day one, like, don't take the easy road,
Right.
don't try to cheat people. Sometimes, you may have to make little to nothing on the deal, but it's more so about that relationship that you're building with that person than the actual, dollar amount that you make.
Yeah, because the other thing too is even if you don't make a lot with them, especially with you being in commercial real estate, they'll come back to you. You might not make a lot on that deal, but you probably will on the next one, and then they'll refer you to a lot of their friends. So yeah.
Yes.
So it's not always a wash, it's things, a lot of things are cyclical. They just come back to you at another time. So,
right.
I mean, that's like a biblical law, right?
Circle.
It's a big circle. Give it, it'll be given to you.
Exactly.
Right. Let's see. Do you think it's best to start your real estate business with a major franchise or an independent agency?
Okay. I would say probably like a big name brokerage at first because they do have great training programs. Even though starting out, you're split maybe 60-40, 70-30, it's not really about that, right? It's just they have like the reputation, they have like the targeted.
They have branding, like
exactly.
It takes time for you to create your own brand.
Right. So basically, just I would say definitely go with one of the big names until you feel comfortable. And then when you feel like that you can kind of do it on your own and you don't need, big brother really like helping you the whole way, then go to like a more boutique firm and, make a higher percentage.
Okay. How important is building relationships and sales? You kind of already covered that, but you can kind of reinforce a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's everything pretty much.
Like it is the lifeblood of my business. Relationships are everything. Now, unfortunately, because the market is so tight, I will say that I have seen some individuals kind of cut corners as far as relationships. But for me, I don't cut corners because, just like they say in the Bible, this too shall pass. And everybody knows the real estate, market. I mean, it's the seller's market.
Yeah.
It could be close to 2008 again. Who knows?
No, I hope not. That's actually
I know.
The real estate market. Yeah. Hope we don't see that again. So you mentioned the marketing. Now you started your business with 100% referrals, which is how I recommend everyone get started in business. I do have a book called Fire Your Job, Be Your Own Boss, that's actually in my book. But what type, once you get to a certain level where maybe sometimes it seems like you've plateaued, what type of marketing are you doing right now?
Well, social media, definitely.
Okay.
So the thing about social media is that it's infinite, right?
Right. Like and most of the time it's free, unless you pay for advertising.
Exactly.
It's a win-win.
you know. So I didn't have like a large client list and database that I could blast emails out to, but I haven't really done that in like probably like almost 2 years because I just use social media to pretty much sell all my properties and to get new properties. You know, I just stay active. Like I
Yeah.
always stay in your face. It's like, like if you, just saw 10 McDonald's commercials, you may not even like it, but hey, you may want to get some fries just because it's implanted like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
So to me, it's just like being first in your mind. And social media is a great, tool that you can use to constantly stay in front of your audience.
Yeah, the one thing about social media, though, I am a member of like several different Facebook groups, and you really do have to stay engaged to really get out of it what you want to as a business owner. Like,
Mhm.
the Facebook community wants to know that you care as much about them as they care about you. So you can't really just get on Facebook and start trying to sell something. It just
Right.
doesn't work. I mean, the relationships have to be genuine and organic. And then from there, once you've established a relationship and a rapport with someone, then you can kind of talk about your product. But you kind of have to start, at ground zero first and start building that relationship. And you have to go into it saying, I might get something out of this, like that'll benefit me financially or benefit my business, or I might not.
Right. And the way that I started from ground zero is just so I believe in the law of attraction, right?
Yeah.
Positive begets positive. So I just will put out motivational, stuff. And it just resonated. And I still do it because
Right.
I believe in my core. So I don't go on social media to complain,
Right.
to like start drama. Like I totally am like blocked off from all of that. Like it's
Yeah,
tunnel.
exactly.
It's just strictly positivity, and that's it. So I
Right.
don't get involved in no drama, right? I don't have
Ooh, I like you a lot already.
like,
Well,
like
the one thing that's worse than a drama queen is a drama king. I'm like, this person is not. I'm like, y'all are worse than the women. What's going on here?
I don't get it. Don't make dollars that don't make sense. To me, that don't make sense. I'm just saying. But being like a positive force, especially when like, you never know what somebody else is going through. Like sometimes I may not even feel like putting out nothing positive, and then I see something on my timeline that just like hits home, and I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that. And it just gives you that boost. So it's not just for you to just always try to give other people. Sometimes you're there to receive it.
Absolutely. I love motivational speakers. And I almost want to call him a preacher, but I know he's not a preacher. But I love TD Jakes as a preacher and a motivational speaker.
Mhm.
And I also love John Maxwell. And
I love John Maxwell.
I mean, that's my man, right? So I love him because he does a lot of leadership training too, but a lot of the motivational speaking, they're like basically they're giving you the scripture without giving you that scripture address.
Mhm.
So it's like I feel like I'm still in church even though I'm really not there.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes to deliver a message, I'm not saying that John Maxwell is a Christian. I really don't know what his religion or beliefs are.
Mhm.
But sometimes I think the Bible or the message that Jesus is just trying to get across has to be presented in different ways for people to receive it.
Right.
So there was a lot in the law of attraction. Not that I'm into New Ageism or anything, but I watched the movie a couple times.
Mhm.
And a lot of the philosophy and the beliefs that come right from the Bible. Some of it came from like Buddhism, but a lot of these different tenets have Christian elements with them, even New Ageism and agnostics, like God is in everything. Sometimes the stuff gets a little bit out there, like people turn into space cadets. So I don't really get that far out there, but a lot of the things like they talk about, using joy as a healing element. Well, that's in the Bible too. So the information that came from the Bible, I'm like, that's right on. I definitely agree with that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm very much into motivational speakers, and a lot of salespeople are extremely optimistic people. So they usually like listening to motivational speakers. That's why for like a lot of conventions, like Amway, Quick Star, or some of the big name franchises, Keller Williams, Farmers. They usually will start their conferences or conventions with a motivational speaker, or they'll end with one because they know how powerful motivational speaking is.
So
And if you have a sales force, you want to get them fired up. Like that's one of the best ways to do it. Get a motivational speaker up there.
I actually did Amway and Quick Star.
Me too. I sold a whole lot of stuff.
Man, freshman year in college, right? So even though I'm still in the library like 8 hours, I'm still business minded. Even before my mom gave me Rich Dad Poor Dad, so I would carry the plan with me, and like I know I bugged the crap out of my colleagues because if they saw me coming down, they knew I was gonna get them. They knew I was coming. They knew I was coming.
They're like, run for your life. Here it comes. Here comes
you ain't got to get ready. I had that plan ready, hot and ready. Okay, like come here.
Wow. Well, how was your recruiting with it?
I actually did pretty good, And I went to a couple conferences with.
Yeah, I went to a conference too.
Yeah, so Bill Britt, and then my favorite was Dave Severin. Dave Severin. And I still listen to it to this day. It's on YouTube, and it's called Pigs Don't Know Pigs Stink.
Pigs Don't Know Pigs Stink, okay.
Pigs Don't Know Pigs Stink. You got to check it out. Man, it talks to your soul, okay? Like, when you get finished listening to this, you're going to feel some type of way, okay? Yeah. But it's going to be a good type of way, and it's going to kick you in the butt and like make you change something up and just, it's really just help you get out your own way, basically. And Dave Severin is like a no holds barred type guy, and I like those blunt, raw, real type people. Like that's really what I connect with, and that's why I guess in real estate, primarily the buyers, because they're more like, non-emotional. It's just numbers to them, like that's why I have partners like Robin and Mike because they can connect more so with the sellers. They have a lot more patience, Facts.
Some agents are better buyers agents and other ones are better sellers agents. The best thing to know is just where your strengths are and go with your strengths. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Capitalize on what you're good at.
And that's what I try to do.
The one I met a guy yesterday and he said that his mom said he talks all the time. So he said right now he's a waiter at a restaurant. He said, yeah, I'm using my gift to my advantage. I'm like, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. So I was like, good for you. He said, I got the gift of gab, so I just like meeting people all day. And he's like, he's making good tips off of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what TDJ says. He said, use every gift God gave you. He said, every gift you have is so you can somehow benefit or make money off of it.
Exactly.
I'm like, and he's the epitome of that. Like he's actually done that in his real life. So he's a great person to give advice like that.
Yeah, my mom will always go to the Woman Die or Lose conference.
I've been to those too. So
yeah.
I followed TDJ's pretty well. Now it's awesome that you see a whole family kind of in the ministry now. His wife, Sarita, and his daughters are now in it. I'm not really sure if what his son is doing, but they might not be old enough yet. But it's just really beautiful that you can see that, played out, that, it's not only like they're not just getting up there in the pulpit preaching it, but they actually live it too. So that speaks volumes.
People, like when they feel like that you're just doing it just for ulterior motives. I mean, you're not gonna really have that great of a following unless you're just that good.
Exactly.
So everybody knows me. Like I eat, breathe, and sleep real estate. So like I've been up over 24 hours. You can't even tell.
That's awesome. Like what? Okay. I don't know. As long as it's rated G or PG, can you tell us why you've been up for 24 hours? Like, what is a typical day in China? It's like, because I'm just kind of curious, what's going on?
Okay. So, like I, talked about like the law of attraction.
Right.
So me, like, I just like throwing things out there and then knowing that they're going to come back to me some way, somehow. I just don't know how they're going to come back. So like exactly a week ago today, that was Wendy Patton's, like MREI meeting. And like one of the local investors here that I'm real cool with, his name is Todd Chung. We met and like we just clicked that night, right? And like we did this video, and it was crazy. Like we was talking all this stuff, and we were like, "Man, we're about to do this." People probably thought we were crazy, right? But we put it out in the atmosphere.
Okay.
People in our network connected with that, and one investor in particular, he ended up entrusting us with his 32-unit apartment building.
Oh, okay. Wow. Just from putting stuff out there.
I'm telling you, just
like you said, law of attraction.
Right. Just from our 3-minute video that we put on, Facebook, he saw that.
It's like, these guys are crazy. But probably your enthusiasm is what caught his attention.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I knew that I had to go this morning and view the actual apartment building. So usually if it's like a single family, I'll probably just hire somebody to go down there and just take the pictures and do a showing for me. But apartment buildings and like larger, like luxury properties, they, that's what excites me. So yeah, so this one's on the east side, like near Chalmers.
Oh, okay.
So deep east.
I'm like, don't knock the east side. I'm from the east side.
I'm just but didn't even matter, right? Because the building is absolutely beautiful, and I was just so excited to go see it that I just couldn't sleep.
Oh, that's why you were so excited. Okay.
Yeah.
He said, honestly, like in Detroit, you're not going to find better architecture in the state than Detroit. It's a jewel of the state. It's as the saying goes, as Detroit goes, so goes the rest of the state. But that like Audubon, there's some streets on the east side that are just gorgeous. So yeah, don't just disown the east side.
No, I'm not. On the east or west, it don't matter.
Yeah. But west siders, they're like, oh, the east side. And I'm like, I go down to some of these, some of these streets on the west side. I'm like, it's no different. What is the difference? I'm not like originally born from Detroit, but I'm just like, I just really think that the west side is just a little overrated in some places. So,
and actually, the east side has some great areas where
they have little pockets.
Yeah, they do. That's highly desirable, and you wouldn't even believe some of the prices that they're getting right now.
There's mansions in the Berry subdivision. I mean, by the mayor's mansion, there's other mansions on the water. So you got Grosse Pointe and Lakeshore Drive, and it just goes on and on. So yeah, there's a lot of nice real estate over here that I don't think a lot of people know about. But just keep driving down Jefferson. Then you'll bump into it.
Exactly.
Well, let's wrap up. Let's see. We talked about some of these questions already. How did you increase your knowledge base in real estate? So you already had, some acumen. You had already done Quick Star, and you had read some books. You didn't have a mentor. So how did you get from point A to where you are today without your mentor?
Yeah, so I am the definition of just self-motivated, right? And one of my core beliefs is never get comfortable. So in 2016, my goal was to close 75 deals that year.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I closed over 100.
Oh, wow, that's great.
But it put me in the hospital for 6 days.
Uh-oh.
Right? Because I was malnutrition, not sleeping, which I guess, still, but
get excited.
Yeah. I didn't have a team, right?
Right.
So I was working harder, not smarter.
Yeah.
After that, I started to build teams, and some business partners fell by the wayside for multiple reasons. But you see who I really rock with, and
yeah. I see your team in bits and pieces at some of our events.
Yeah.
So hopefully you and your team, at least part of your team will be joining us on Saturday. I know that you at this point are a veteran in the business, but hey, you might be able to glean some knowledge and share some of your knowledge too. We are going to have a panel towards the end of the workshop from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. We would love for you to sit on the panel So once again, you all, this Saturday, June 26th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, we are going to have a real estate investor workshop hosted by the Jetted Group and DBHG. Everyone is welcome to attend. The fee is $30 for members and $40 for non-members. Please go to our website at www.dbhg.org for more information and to purchase your ticket. So a couple last questions. How can a real estate agent complete their first sales transaction in their first 30 days or less? Because as you know, in real estate, a lot of us kind of can struggle with cash flow. So how can they go about doing that?
Or analysis paralysis, right? Because I was like a victim of that. I started studying real estate when I was 19 years old. I didn't start buying properties till I was 21 years old, right? Mm-hmm. And that was because I was trying to consume so much knowledge that I took no action.
I see.
So, I would say definitely. So the easiest way to a bag in real estate is link up with somebody that already has a property for sale, and you work with them to help them sell their property. So we call it JV, joint venture, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a property that's for sale at 100,000, and let's say, hey, like I want to flip it for 120. Okay, then you market that property for me for free for 20,000, and if you sell it, then we split the 20 grand.
Right. Okay, sounds good. And then, so during this time from like 19 to 21, was this also a period of time where you were still at U of M as well? Was that one of the reasons why you had
out of U of M at the age of 19?
Okay, I see.
To Atlanta, right? Because initially, I did music.
Oh, right? Okay.
So a lot of people don't know this, but I used to rap, right? Oh. But it was like the Will Smith type rap,
Okay.
Not no hardcore nothing, right? Just like the rap. And I didn't do really well with that. So
you're like, let me go back home.
really well with that. So
there's only one Will Smith. I have not seen another rapper like Will Smith before or after. There's only one Will Smith. And there's only really one Vanilla Ice. So there's only one.
Right. So then I decided, you know what? Forget rapping. How about you manage another artist, right? So I linked up with this guy in Georgia, and he used to be 3-6 Mafia's first manager, right? Like when he first started, before they got like big. And, he had like a, buzz in the industry. So I linked up with him, and then we would get everybody their EPK, their electronic press kit with professional photos, and we would get their demo done in like $1 million studio, right?
Oh, okay.
And we would take those, EPKs to Manhattan, New York, where a lot of the major labels are. And Aaron definitely had the gift of gab, so he could just walk in anybody's office and just engage with them. And I was just kind of like just sitting back and like observing. So like we would just shop, music artists, to the major labels, and the money that I made from that was enough for me to start with real estate, right? And this was back in 2006 when I bought my first 2 properties. So this was pre-2008. When everything went to crap.
Right.
And that was basically, so I ended up buying 2 properties within a month's time with no money down.
Oh, wow.
And both properties.
You did like a land contract?
No. These were actual purchases, right? Like mortgage, right? So they
okay, gotcha.
Like 100% funding. And I'm 21 years old, and they gave me like $400,000 and like.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
And like all I had to have was 3 months reserve, in the bank to pay the payments. And that's exactly why 2008 happened, because I had no business.
You took the words right out of my mouth. And this is why we had 2008.
This is why we had 2008, right? I'm definitely a product of that. And I survived 2008. That's why I feel like that almost nothing in my mind could be worse than that. Like I saw millionaires on paper have to go back to really like low end jobs, right? Because they were over leveraged with, like they may have owned like 10 properties, but they were, mortgage, and then the property values dropped. So basically, you're underwater, and
Exactly.
like
That's when I went into insurance was 2008. I wasn't doing anything that's showing, foreclosures and bank-owned properties. And the thing with investors, I mean, like, no, I'm not, it's not shunning you or anything, but they look at a lot of properties. I'm like, and I had out-of-state investors. So I had, like, they were on the West Coast, and I'm looking at like 100 houses, and my commission's like $1,000. I'm like, I can't even pay gas with this. So I was like, I let alone my bills. So I was like, it's time for me to do something else. That's how I got into insurance.
Okay. Yeah, so I love my international investors. I work with a lot of them, which is also why I usually don't sleep, because it could be 2 a.m. here, and then 7, 8 o'clock in the morning their time.
Yeah. That's awesome, John. Well, I'm gonna let you go because I do want you to get some sleep, and sleep is important. I don't want you going back into the hospital again. So hopefully you'll get some sleep before Saturday. You and Robin and Mike. Mike already told me he's going to be on his boat or doing something else on Saturday. So, but hopefully you two can definitely come out. We'd love for you to sit on the panel. How can people get a hold of you if they're interested in investment property? How can they get in touch with you?
Okay, yeah. So I love social media. I have 4 profiles on Facebook, John Cleare. I have like 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, John Cleare. I have 3 Instagram profiles, Clear to Close, Mr. JMC, and Mr._Clear. Twitter, it's actually Clear to Close on Twitter.
Now, Clear to Close, that's the name of your brokerage, correct?
Correct. So that's like a coin phrase,
I love it. I see the hashtag.
My last name has the extra E.
Right.
And, I'm actually getting it trademarked and everything. So that's definitely my brand. And shout out to Colette Hughes for making me, make that my brand. Cause she really fussed at me like my mom. She's like, John, you got the perfect last name. Like hardly no.
Exactly.
And she's like, you're not doing nothing with it.
So I got you.
Clothes came about. Thank you, Colette Hughes.
Yeah, her name sounds familiar. So she's like a marketing guru, because I definitely heard the name out there before.
She's a real estate broker, and she's actually doing real estate longer than me. So you should definitely have her on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look her up.
Yep.
Thank you so much for all of your nuggets of wisdom. We really hadn't been talking about motivational speakers that much, but motivational speakers are very important to sales and in the sales industry. So that's one of the first things you may want to do is just get yourself pumped up, because you are going to have some low days, and you're going to have some days where you're like, man, I don't know why I signed up for this. I don't know why I went and took this test. I got all of these bills coming. I have a lot of money going out and not a lot of money coming in. So that's sometimes where you just got to get yourself pumped up and be like, okay, yeah, now I know what my why is. I know why I'm doing this. So you got to get pumped up and get back out there.
Yeah.
So, well, congratulations on all your accolades, and wish you continued success. Continue to mentor and be mentored, and hopefully we'll see you on Saturday.
All right, see you there.
Okay, see everybody else on Saturday. Everybody have a great rest of your week. 9 to 12 noon. Go to dbhg.org for more information. Bye, everybody.
Hey, let's close some deals.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.